Welcome back to the Lone Road iRacers podcast. I'm your host, Guy Robertson, and today we're diving into a topic that every sim racer can relate to on some level: the mental, physical, and psychological impact of iRacing. Whether you're logging in for casual races or chasing that elusive iRating, we're going to explore how this incredible simulation can affect you and how you can find the perfect balance to stay at your best. Let's start with the mental side. iRacing is not just about turning the wheel and hitting the pedals. It's a mental marathon. When you're battling through the final laps of a race, your brain is juggling situational awareness, strategy and focus. It's like playing chess at 200 kilometers per hour. But let's be honest, sim racing can be mentally exhausting. Who's ever finished a race and feels completely drained? Hands up, I know I have. That's because your brain has been on high alert for the past 20 or 30 minutes. Add to that the emotional highs and lows, the adrenaline rush of overtaking, and the frustration of being punted off the track. So how do you keep your mental game strong? Simple things like taking breaks between sessions, practicing mindfulness, and even using visualization techniques can help. Some of the top iRacers swear by short meditation sessions before and after a race to keep their focus sharp. Another great tip is reviewing your race replays, not just from a technical improvements point of view, but for mental clarity. Breaking down what went right and what went wrong can help you focus on growth instead of dwelling on mistakes. And let's not forget the importance of mental resilience. iRacing is unforgiving. One mistake can ruin a race, but it's how you bounce back that defines you or us as a racer. Remember, every setback is a set up for a comeback. Build your mental stamina by celebrating small wins, like improving your lap times or mastering a tricky corner, rather than focusing solely on podium finishes. Over time, these small victories build confidence and mental toughness that will serve you well in competitive scenarios. On top of that, maintaining a positive mindset is essential. Surrounding yourself with supportive teammates or racing communities. Engage in discussions, share your progress, and motivate each other. A healthy mental environment can make a world of difference in how you approach racing and handle challenges. Now we're going to look at the physical demands of sim racing itself. Now you might be thinking, physical, we just sat here in a sim. But if you spent a few hours in an intense session, you'll know that iRacing can take a toll on your body too. First, there's a physical strain. A high quality force feedback wheel can give your arms and shoulders quite a workout, especially if you're tackling tracks like Mount Panorama or the Nordschleife. Then there's your posture. Sitting in a racing rig for hours can lead to back pain, neck stiffness, and even wrist fatigue. And there's a famous guest quote or expert quote: sim racers often underestimate the importance of ergonomics. A well-adjusted rig can make all the difference for long-term comfort and performance. So that's something to reflect on. Fitness regimes designed for sim racers are becoming more popular. Simple exercises like stretching, yoga, or even light strength training can help you in shape and improve your stamina for those long endurance races. Some pros are even incorporating reaction drills to sharpen their reflexes. And I'm sure we've seen some of the F1 drivers where their coach is dropping a tennis ball and the driver has to catch it as quick as possible. There's a few physical fitness things that we could consider doing as a sim racer. So one, stretching routine. Take 5 to 10 minutes before and after each session to stretch your neck, shoulders, wrists and lower back. Then there's strength training. Focus on exercise like push-ups, resistance band rows and shoulder presses to build endurance for the demands of force feedback wheels. Cardiovascular fitness. Add 20 to 30 minutes of cardio like jogging or cycling a few times a week to improve your endurance and mental focus during long stints. And then what about taking a break? Between races or practice sessions, stand up, walk around and do light stretches to counteract stiffness. And one thing that sometimes we all forget, hydration. And you don't want to forget about hydration. Staying hydrated is essential for maintaining focus and preventing fatigue. Keep a water bottle by your rig and take sips during practice or between races. Dehydration can affect your reaction times and overall performance, so it's small steps that go a long way. This section is probably the most important: diet and nutrition for peak performance. Now we're going to dive into this topic. It probably doesn't get enough attention, especially in sim racer or iRacing world. Diet and nutrition. You probably heard the saying, you are what you eat. Well, the same applies to sim racers. Your diet directly affects your reaction times, focus and stamina. Start by avoiding heavy, greasy meals before a race. Foods high in fat can make you feel sluggish and impair your concentration. Instead, opt for balanced meals with lean protein, complex carbohydrates and healthy fats. Think grilled chicken with quinoa and steamed vegetables. Or what about salmon fillet with brown rice and a side of spinach? Snacks are another important consideration. Many sim racers love to snack during long practice sessions or endurance races, but instead of reaching for chips or sugary treats, go for healthier options like almonds or mixed nuts for sustained energy, fresh fruit like bananas or apples for a quick carb boost, Greek yogurt with honey for a balance of protein and carbs, and what about whole grain crackers with hummus? Now, I'm not a big fan of hummus, but I will eat the crackers. And don't forget caffeine. We all love our caffeine these days and we get them in lots of different ways. But while a cup of coffee can sharpen your focus, too much caffeine can lead to jitters and crashes. Balance is key here. If you need an energy boost, try green tea or a small espresso. Pair it with water to stay hydrated and avoid over-reliance on stimulants. Let's shift gears and talk about family and work-life balance. Sim racing can be an incredibly immersive hobby, but it's important to ensure it doesn't take over other aspects of your life. Balancing work, family and racing is no easy feat, but it is essential for long-term enjoyment. Start by setting clear boundaries with your sim racing time. Communicate with your family or housemates about your schedule. Whether it's blocking out an hour in the evening or dedicating a weekend morning, make sure your racing time doesn't clash with other commitments. And don't forget to involve your loved ones. Share your passion with them. Maybe invite them to watch a race or even try a lap in your rig. It's a great way to connect and show them why you love it so much. And you never know, they might want to do it as well. On the work side, treat iRacing like any other hobby. It's okay to prioritise downtime, but don't let it interfere with deadlines or responsibilities. Use sim racing as a way to recharge, not escape. If you're struggling to find balance, consider creating a weekly schedule to allocate time for work, family and racing. Another useful approach is time blocking. By planning your week in advance and carving out specific hours for racing, You can ensure that all areas of your life get the attention each deserve. A healthy work-life balance will not only make you a better racer, but also a happier individual overall. Now, let's take a moment to address something even more significant: mental health. iRacing, like any other competitive activity, can be mentally taxing. Anxiety, stress, and even feelings of inadequacy can creep in, especially if you're putting immense pressure on yourself to perform. If you ever feel overwhelmed, it's important to know that you're not alone and help is available. Many communities offer peer support, such as sim racing forums and Discord groups where racers share experience and advice. Sometimes just talking to a fellow racer can make all the difference. For those needing professional support, consider reaching out to a mental health professional. Many countries have helplines, counselling services, or even online therapy options that can be incredibly beneficial. Resources like BetterHelp and TalkSpace offer convenient ways to connect with licensed therapists from the comfort of your home. Remember, seeking help isn't a sign of weakness, it's a sign of strength. Taking care of your mental health will not only make you a better racer, but also a happier and more balanced individual. If you ever feel the pressure of racing are too much, don't hesitate to step back and reassess your priorities. End of the day, your well-being comes first above anything else. Before we wrap up, let's touch on fitness regimes specifically tailored for iRacers. A good fitness plan can include core strength, planks, sit-ups and other core exercises to maintain good posture in the rig. Upper body workout, resistance bands or light weights for your arms and shoulders to handle the force feedback. Cardio like cycling or running to improve endurance and mental sharpness. And stretching, focus on your neck, back and wrist to counteract the effects of prolonged sitting. For those who want to take it a step further, consider training programs designed for real-world drivers. Many of the skills and physical requirements translate directly to sim racing. Fitness isn't just about improving your performance, it's about making sure you can keep doing what you love for years to come. Combine that with a balanced diet, hydration and good mental health practices, and you'll be unstoppable on and off the track. Remember, it's a holistic approach. Mind, body and spirit all working in harmony. That's it for today's podcast, folks. The Lone Road iRacers podcast. I hope this deep dive into the mental, physical and psychological aspects of iRacing has given you some food for thought, pardon the pun, and maybe even inspired you to make a few changes to your routine. As always, we love to hear from you. How do you keep your mind and body in shape for sim racing? Drop us a message on our socials or send an email to the Lone Road iRacers podcast at gmail.com. Well, I hope you enjoyed today's podcast, all about mental health, the effect of iRacing or sim racing on us, an iRacer as well, and what you can do about that. I'm personally going to look at what I can do to get more fitness involved and a bit better diet from my own personal well-being point of view. And it's a serious subject as well, folks. If you are feeling mentally fatigued, unsure, you're having sleepless nights thinking about iRacing, they're the kind of things where you should be reaching out and either talking to one of your friends, buddies, colleagues, family members, or even visiting, a trained professional, a GP, would be a starting point. So don't let your mental health and your physical well-being demise due to just trying to get some numbers, i.e. iRating. Look after number one. Until then, folks, happy iRacing, and I'll see you on the track soon.